Hi, hello, namaste friends. Welcome to our channel Ace Civil Engineer. For more interesting videos like this, please do subscribe and press the bell icon. In this video, we are going to discuss about the stress versus strain for ductile and brittle materials. Let's start. So friends, let us start with ductile materials. For a ductile material, this is the stress strain curve where this y-axis is the stress and this horizontal x-axis is the strain. So here what I do consider is I'm just considering an element uh, of which is in this shape and just trying to apply a tensile load. So before starting, let us understand what exactly is a ductile material. So friends, ductile material is a material which exactly tends to deform before failure. Whereas brittle materials, they do not tend to any deformation, though its deformation is very negligible, and suddenly the failure will be seen. So such materials are brittle materials. So this is the difference, friends. Ductile is nothing but it has the ability to deform, and brittle means it does not have any ability to deform and simply it breaks suddenly. So this is the major difference. Now let us see what are the examples. So for ductile materials, we do have some examples like mild steel, aluminum, copper, etc. Whereas for brittle, you can consider cast iron. So these are the some examples what exactly a ductile and brittle material is. So now let us get into the concept of this stress strain curve for this ductile material. So for time being, I am considering mild steel as the material for which I have shown you the stress strain curve. So in this curve, we are going to understand what is the behavior of this mild steel when it is subjected to some tension force T. So when I'm applying this tension force, what happens, friends? As I have already mentioned you, ductile material means it has a tendency to deform. So it will slowly try to increase its length in both ways with some delta L deformation, and this delta L by existing L is nothing but the strain. So delta L by L is the strain. So what I observe is the stress strain curve goes straightly till the point P. Okay, so till this point it is having a uniform slope. So that slope is nothing but the Young's modulus. So here I am going to tell you. So E means E or Y. I'll consider it as Y because E I have already used. So Y is the Young's modulus. So this is the slope of the curve as it is in elastic nature. So it tends to be elastic in shape and it tries to be linearly proportional to strain. Means the stress whatever is there. So here y I can mention it as y equals to stress by strain because it is a simply the slope. Okay, so this P point, what I can tell you is this is the proportionality limit. Means so this proportionality limit means, friends, till the point P from O. So from O to P, what happens? This stress and strain are directly proportional to each other, and the constant is called as Young's modulus. Whereas from P to E is nothing but it is a non-linear curve. You can see it is not a straight line here. It tries to be non-linear in shape. It is something like this. Non-linear means it is not having a common slope here. So from point P to E, what we see, friends, though it is an elastic limit, it has the nature of elasticity, and if you leave the stress or if you leave the force here, again it comes back to the point O. Means the whatever deformation you have seen, that comes back to zero again. So E, I can mention you it as elastic limit. So friends, what does this mean? The zone which is from here to here is elastic region. Now friends, let us understand what beyond this elastic region happens. So once the elastic region has crossed, that means the ability of this material to come back to its original shape has gone out. Now if you keep on increasing the load, this load if you keep on increasing, then what happens? With a small increase in load, you will see a drastic increase in deformation. So here you will see a small S curve like this, and this S curve is in the plastic zone. So in this plastic zone, what happens? Once, for suppose the curve is somewhere at this point. At this point, what happens if you remove the load? The material is not going to come back to its original shape. it will have form some permanent deformation like this, and this amount is the permanent deformation, whatever be this delta. So that will be a permanent deformation which has formed. Now, if you keep on increasing the load like this, so at whatever point you consider, you will be seeing a permanent deformation like this. Now, in this S curve, friends, what happens? You will see two limits. One is the above upper limit, and the another one is a lower limit. So this is the yielding point beyond which it will lose its capacity to come back to its original shape. So friends, here what happens, this is the upper yielding point. So here I'll note it down. YU is nothing but the upper yielding point, and YL is the lower yielding point. Now friends, you may ask me a question that sir, we have two limits. Which one do we consider as the yield stress of a particular material? You have to always consider the lower yielding point as the yielding stress of a particular material. Again, you may have a doubt like, sir, during design of concrete structures, we do use different grades of concrete like Fe415, Fe250, Fe180. So these all are having different yield stress. What does this mean? Though they are of common material, why do they have this? And what is the difference in its curve? So friends, I will say you there is no difference except the yielding point, or the point at which the curve is changing its direction. So for all this grade of steel, you will be having a common slope. That is, you will be having a common Young's modulus. But whereas if you see the curve here, you will be seeing something like this. This is for Fe250. This is for Fe180. So here you will see this is for Fe180, Fe250, and this is for Fe415. So this is the only difference, friends, nothing else. So friends, here what we understood, beyond this point, whatever you see, it is completely in the plastic region. Plastic region means, friends, the material is not going to regain its original shape. So once this has reached this elastic limit has crossed, then obviously you are not going to get back its original shape. Now after this lower yielding point, what happens, this curve is trying to move up with a small increase in load. What happens, friends, this is, I will consider this as the strain hardening zone. So what does this strain hardening zone means, friends? Strain hardening is nothing but, for suppose initially my material was something like this. Now what happens? This consider my material was something like this. Now what happens in the atomic level? You will see some rearrangement of all the atoms and try to change its shape permanently, something like this, so that all the atoms will try to rearrange to increase its strength. This is why it is called as a hardening here. So this is hardening, and strain, it keeps on decreasing as you increase the load. So the capacity to elongate also will be decreasing. So as it has already attained some elongation, it will be having some tendency to retain some more elongation beyond that point. So that's why the strain tries to be decreasing as you keep increasing the load, and at the same time what happens, the material tries to get hardened out. This is why it is called as a strain hardening zone. So in this zone, what happens, friends, you just observe the curve here. Slowly as the load is increasing, this shape is slowly turning into this shape. So this is the permanent deformation shape of the material. So slowly it is going to increase its hardening state. So it will reach to the best capacity of that material, best strength capacity of that material, and that capacity is now known as the ultimate capacity of the material. So U here I am mentioning it as the ultimate strength of the material. Ultimate strength. So if you jot it down here, the corresponding stress level is known as the sigma max, or else you can consider as the ultimate stress. Whereas here you can see this is a sigma yielding. or else it is called as sigma y, I would say. So this is the difference between yield stress and the ultimate stress, friends. Now you may ask, sir, if I am going to increase the load some more, then what happens? Then I would say from here, this zone I will be calling it as, this is necking zone. So in this necking zone, what happens, friends? This whatever the permanent deformed member is there, it will try to decrease its cross section, something like this. So I will draw it here. Now this will try to get shrinked at its weakest point. Whatever is the weakest point, it tries to be forming a neck like structure, neck like shape. Then what happens? The strength at this location will be slowly decreasing at the as the cross sectional area is comparatively lesser. So as the cross section is lesser, then the strain also will be trying to increase. So here you will see some strain, and all of a sudden what happens? You will see a break at this point. So that break would be something like a cup and cone action. So that is something like this. So friends, this is some cup and cone action. If you see here, in this way it is going to fail. So this is the cup and this is a cone. So this B point is nothing but, I would say, it is a breaking point. Now I am also going to tell you how a brittle material would be seen in the further same stress strain curve. So here I am going to sketch the graph how a stress strain curve would be exactly. So the green one what I have shown you is the stress strain curve for a brittle material. As I have already explained you, for brittle materials what happens, you will be not having any warning for failure. Suddenly it is going to crack and fail. So here if you draw a stress strain curve, the stress strain curve would be very steeper in its nature. So it is very steep, which is in green color. And so what happens, as you keep increasing the stress, the strain is very less compared to what the stress you have increased. So with a very less amount of strain, you will see the stress capacity is increasing, and suddenly what happens, it will break. So at this point what happens, it will tend to break all of a sudden. That's all about this video, friends and family members. If you had any comments, queries, or if you had any topics in your wish list, then please do let me know by commenting in the comment section. I hope you liked the video. If yes, please do like it. I will be creating more interesting videos like this. Please do subscribe to get updated as soon as I keep posting videos. Share my video to all your friends and family members. Don't forget to press the bell icon.